dive right on in. How did you get involved in podcast producing?
Yeah, so I got involved in podcast producing, honestly, really just through the pandemic. So, predominantly, as you mentioned in my intro, I have experience in reality TV, producing reality TV shows. My first reality TV show was America's Next Top Model. Yep, I produced cycles 14 through 20. I started in New York City, and at the height of at the beginning of podcasting, actually, not even at the height, at the beginning of podcasting, it was
Wow.
probably America's Next Top Model, Survivor, and American Idol. Like it was us. And
The heyday.
exactly, it was the heyday of reality TV. And so back to your question, just to answer it, is I got into reality TV, excuse me, into podcasting is because the studios were shut down during the pandemic. And I connected with a producer and manager who happened to work over at Westbrook. And she said, "Hey, Jada Pinkett Smith and her mom, Gammy, they wanted to do a podcast. And I think you'd be great for it." And so I said, "Yeah, I think I can figure that out." And that's honestly how I broke into podcasting is I used my transferable skills as a reality TV producer and I produced a podcast of Positively Gam, as you mentioned. And I was number two hired to help develop Westbrook's podcast slate.
What's an
Right.
additional lesson you learned from working on Red Table Talk and working with Westbrook in general, actually?
Yeah. And so just to clarify, I don't work on Red Table Talk, the TV show. So when Josiah's mentioning it, I work on Red Table Talk, the podcast. So what we did was we stripped the audio from the television show and we turned it into a podcast. Yep. And that's also too a good point and useful is nowadays as people have a lot of content, you can do so many things with it. Not only could we have made that a podcast, we could have also made that a blog and taken the audio from it and then put it on a Substack or Beehive. So like there were so many things that we could do with that podcast. So sorry, what was your original question? I've got off on a tangent, but like I just wanted to call that out to people who have, since you are producing a podcast for people who are in the entertainment industry is to let them know that you have content that you could be used in so
Exactly.
many different ways. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. In fact, I've heard
Yeah.
people say, no, thank you for clarifying that. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Of
Um,
course.
a lot of people don't know that sometimes, depending on what stage of creation of your project, you might be
Yeah.
sitting on a gold mine of stuff of previous, maybe you created some doodles or some painting or a podcast
Yes.
or
Yes.
vlogs, road trip photos, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of free platforms. You mentioned Substack. I have a Substack. There's Beehive,
Yeah.
other
Oh,
newsletter software, and things like that. That's just free tools that you can use. People use Instagram to be
yeah.
doing blogging. Queens of Production does a lot of, as I understood, early podcasting with live
Yes.
IG talks before launching,
Yes.
quote
Yes.
unquote, a proper podcast, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Queens of Production still does live talks every week just on Tony's Instagram, Queens of Production. Follow it. It's a great platform for, industry conversations to learn more about people who are doing jobs in the industry. And I say that is because when I started and went to school for this, is that like I went to school for theater. I went to school for acting, and that's in front of the camera. But I had quickly realized I didn't want to be in front of the camera. I
Wow.
really wanted
Okay.
to be the maker, the puppet master of creating what the actors and theater and musical theater kids were doing on stage and I interned at a casting agency and I interned at Late Night with Conan O'Brien and I interned at Focus Features and PR and figured out that there were other roles that could still keep me in the industry and also be prestige because people know the names of producers and directors and that's what people don't even realize is like
Yep.
guys there are so many other roles than just being in front of the camera.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of people, I know you're the face of the project when you're the
Right.
actor. I get it, but there's a lot going on. From behind the scenes. It's like it's the root work, if you use a tree metaphor. It's what's being done in the dark that makes everything come to light. Like there's a lot of discussion. You remind me of I hope I say his wife's name, Zinzi. I hope Zinzi Kugler, Ryan Coogler's
Oh,
wife,
yes. Uh-huh.
as a
Yes, Ryan
producer,
Coogler's wife.
like yourself,
Exactly.
there she's been getting irate. She doesn't
Yes.
like being in the spotlight as much. I think they both share that. They just love the
They both
art,
yeah, they
but
both share that.
they both
Yeah.
share that. But she's been getting her flowers and do spotlight her and the rest of their team at proximity and whatnot to show, hey guys, what's done in the dark in a positive way in this sense is responsible for so many things that you've enjoyed from proximity, from Ryan Coogler's productions, to just see here's what we've learned during this, who's here, who we're working with here, there. I love that you said that. That it's just there's so much going on, guys, that you don't know, that either a gold mine you're sitting on or also
Yeah.
learning that, oh, well, maybe I'm not an actor or something like that. Maybe I'm a
Right.
producer. Maybe I'm a
Right.
writer. And maybe that's where you shine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And maybe you're an editor. And now you see it even today. Platforms like yourself that you highlight people who are behind the scenes. We can still talk about our projects and be front facing. I could be
Yes.
on the Today Show tomorrow and be talking about my project. So that's what I like, is the representation that producers can get booked on these prestigious networks and be the ones that are front facing talking about their own projects, and not just having to rely on the actors or the people who were in the project, who were actually on screen.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Why did you create your company, Hello Fallon Entertainment, and what does it
Yeah.
specialize in?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking that. I mean, I created, honestly, Hello Fallon Entertainment is because really I always wanted to be a talent manager. And I
Okay.
had I had always really wanted to be a talent manager. And honestly, my career had taken a different trajectory of, like I said, being on set, that I didn't ever get a chance to like work in the mailroom. I actually had someone tell me like, you don't want to work in the mailroom because you really don't want to compete with the white Jewish kids, and they're not really gonna, value you the same. And so I was like, okay. And at the time, I was making a little bit more money than what the mailroom was. Um, and so, yeah, and I'm living in New York City at the time, and so like I have
Wow.
to survive, and
Word. Yeah.
so. Yeah, I was making probably like a good $300 a day as like a PA at the time, or 950 because I moved up very quickly as a field coordinator on America's Next Top Model a week. That was like so much more than what I was getting to like work in the mailroom. So I started my company is because I was working with Gammy on Positively Gam, and she didn't have a team, and she asked me would I be her manager, and I honestly was, well, actually I asked her. I was like, I want to manage you. I'm good about putting myself out there. So I said, hey, I want to manage you. And I needed to be official in that capacity, managing someone of level of her caliber. And so I created an LLC called Hello Fallon Entertainment. I have a social, so please all check that out.
Hmm.
And I started my talent management company and a podcast production company. And really, it's a creative producing company that we can help you produce and ideate your ideas. And create full productions behind that and take it from the paper into like building it of what you see today. And I did that is because one, I was tired of giving away the good ideas for free. And so
Respect.
that's why, yeah. And I say free, but like, yes, I was getting paid to be at those companies, but really I had solid ideas where once I do the idea and I get paid, I'm not getting any percentage of that. Like you see reruns of a lot of the reality shows that I work
Yeah.
on. America's Next Top Model is now on Netflix. Top Chef that I worked on, is still on Bravo that they're showing reruns. I'm not getting any residuals. We don't get residuals as reality TV producers. So
I
I,
didn't
I,
know that.
I said, yeah. And so I wanted, to control the IP.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I did not know that actually,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
reality TV producers don't see residual. None, even to today.
No, even to the day, we don't see residuals.
Yeah.
We truly really don't get benefits. I am in the Producers Guild, and there are programs and things, but the only show that I ever honestly got benefits on was The Bachelor, and that they were Tattoo Network, and honestly, yeah. So I
Wow.
truly have always had to buy into my own benefits because we don't, yeah, and we don't get 401ks. It's like the money that we
Right.
make is the money that we make, and we have to choose then what to do with it after.